Good afternoon. When I woke up this morning, I felt a cool breeze. And I looked outside my window and I saw rain. So I kneeled on my knees just for a moment to say to the Father that I pray to in the skies, let not the rain deter the movement. And when we arrived on campus in cold weather, amongst the rain, the students still were there. And you ask me why were the students there? Well, let me explain why the students were there. When you look to my right, you see a lady in a white dress, and her name is President Wynn. But before I ever took my first breath, President Wynn was on a fight for my rights. And when I woke up this morning, I realized that as President Wynn made history, today I can join in the fight to make history. My name is Jamal Rose, and I am proud to be here and represent FAMU along with the union. Now, with something that we really have to understand about why we're here today. When you look across this crowd, you see different races, different geographical locations, different political affiliations. But we still stand on the same banks of the same river. And we still need to cross the same river. And we still have the same dreams. And because of the fire that burned inside of President Wynn, the fact that she was able to pass the torch and look inside the eyes of students, and look inside the eyes of union workers, and look inside the eyes of the working class, and look inside the eyes of the working poor, and look inside the eyes of the teachers, the nurses, the policemen, the transit workers, the firefighters. The fire that burns from 1960 is still lit today. When we stand in unity, we have to understand this much. I take this stage today, and first I say, I stand here for women's rights. I refuse to be silenced while this legislature wants to take me back to the Stone Ages. Ask me what democracy looks like. Ask me what democracy looks like. It's not going back to the Stone Ages. Now you ask me, do I stand for my teachers, the educators, the ones who are responsible for molding our future, the ones who are responsible for dedicating their time day in and day out, the ones who have a family and they still go home with a headache because of the students they deal with every day, and they show up to work the next day. Well, I have a message for this legislature. If you want to pass a bill on merit pay, the first discussion should be on equal funding. And how dare you tell me that a test determines how well an educator can educate? Because I can tell you right now, if you want to judge me because of my GPA, you have missed a great man. If you want to judge me because of an ACT score, you have missed a great man. Because no GPA, no test score can tell you how to stand for what's right. When will you administer a test on justice, administer a test on desire, administer a test on passion? And while you test these teachers, where is your test for their dedication? Now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Now, my father was one of the first African Americans to graduate from law school at the University of Florida. And because of the struggles, he dedicated his life to the civil rights movement and to labor law and to equal employment for the sugarcane growers. And my father took me all the time to these meetings. And there were so many days I wondered, Mom, why did Dad not make the game? Why did Dad not make the play? And my mom would look me in the eye and say, because your dad is still fighting the fight. And when I called my dad this morning and said, Father, I'm marching with the students and President Wynn, and we're marching for the labor unions. He said, son, you remember this. The reason you're marching is because when a person works more than 40 hours, they get overtime. That's why you march, son. When it comes to equal pay for an equal day's work, that's why you march, son. When it comes to being automatically reinstated on your job, that's why you march, son. When it comes to teachers securing their tenure, that's why you march, son. When it comes to collective bargaining, when it comes to collective bargaining, when it comes to collective bargaining, that's why you march, son. I know you would rather play games. I know you'd rather be on the hill. I know you'd rather be in Hollywood. But the reason you march and the reason you stand is because the people of the union need people like us to always fight. And as I look at this crowd, we can honestly say progress is being made on all sides. Now see, back in the day, people could do certain things to represent power. And see, if I hold my fist in the air, I am just an individual. And I stand here to fight. But what we have to do today is something different. We have to extend our hands. We have to lock our shoulders. We have to reach down and make sure that no man is left behind. No union is left behind. None of our rights will be left behind. And see, at the end of the day, the only joy I take from this is that when President Wynn goes to sleep tonight, there are soldiers on the front line that will continue to fight, that will continue to educate, that will continue to empower. I don't need a title. I don't need a law degree, because God gave me good people. God gave me strong people. God gave me a solid foundation. And most importantly, God surrounded me with you and gave you to me and me to you. We are only as strong as the person we are willing to fight for. Now this part to the union, I say with the utmost respect, as great as the numbers are here today, it is time that the sleeping giant wakes up. It's time for the giant of this country to wake up. We're not going to allow you to push this giant into the cliff. See, you may arrive as an individual who did not know how strong you really were. But look around you. You have strength in numbers. You have strength in encouragement. You have strength because you decided to stand for what is right. What would this country be without the union? That is the foundation of the middle class. That is the foundation of working people. That is the foundation of equality. That is the foundation for justice. When Martin Luther King gave his last speech, he was not with diplomats. He was not in Washington. He gave his last speech with sanitation workers, fighting with the union, fighting with the union. And if Martin Luther King could step away from all the glitz and glamour, from the biggest stage in America, if Martin Luther King Jr. could walk away from Washington, D.C. and keep his eyes focused on the fight to the smallest village in the smallest town, then how can we sit on the hill and not fight? Martin Luther King fought for sanitation workers, the union. Now as we leave leave here today, there's something that is so powerful, because I am a future union worker. If I ain't a future union worker, then who is? If we ain't part of the labor union, then who is? If we ain't a part of the movement, then who is? Now see, that's something that a lot of students didn't understand. Okay, the reason we get vacation paid is because of the union. The reason we get a lunch break is because of the union. And the reason they can't work us and not pay us is because of the union.
That's right.
Now, as you look to your left and you look to your right, embrace those faces. Embrace that struggle. Embrace them not just with your vision, but with your heart. Because this legislature has tried to cut off my arms, but I will still reach my goal. This legislature has tried to cut off my legs. I will still walk to my destiny.
All right now.
This legislature has tried to blind me with foolery. I can still see the path.
All right.
And someone asked me how, without arms, without legs, and without eyes, can you make it? Because what's in my heart will always guide me to what's righteous. What's in my heart will always guide me to what is righteous. And I stand here today and I fight for you, because what's in my heart is righteous. If I never entered into a law school, if I never entered into a grad school, if I never had a title, if I never drove a Benz, it wouldn't matter. Because like Greg James told me, it's what drives you, not what you drive. And what drives me